KW Heritage Unlocked, where we are talking with some of the best and brightest, not only at our market center, but in the industry. And these are agents that have either been with us for over 10 years or in the top 10% of our company. And we have got an all-star lineup today that we are so excited for. Real quick though, I want to plug something really excited we've been working on for months, and that is KW Luxury. You guys have known our portfolio brand for a long time in San Antonio, but one thing that's not apparent throughout the community is we are actually over 21% of over $1 million sales in our market. And we are so excited about that, but it's not a story we have told a lot. And so we are excited to now be transitioning away from the portfolio brand to embrace KW Luxury. We've got some exciting stuff coming up around that branding and how we're going to grow our luxury presence and tell that story in San Antonio. So be on the lookout for it, but I'm wearing the swag today, so I had to show it off. All right, now to the main attraction. We have got an all-star lineup that represents well over $100 million in closed real estate year to date. So that's not even for the entire year. We're just talking about year to date from January to now. So let me introduce our panel today as we're shaking it up. I wanted to expand our lineup. And so we have got the one and only Monique Slater. We've got Scott Maloof, who runs Maloof International Group. Heather Pilkington, I got that last name right because if you've seen me in the past, I have screwed that up. And then Kito Smith. And so we are excited because these are all people that are in culture, that have influence not only in the market center, but in the industry. And we're thrilled that they're taking time out of their busy schedules today to join us and talk about the success that they've seen not only through their career, but the success that they're having in this ever-shifting market where technology is changing, the rules are changing, AI is changing everything. And so we're going to jump right into that. So guys, welcome. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal week so far. I know we had a lot of fun the other night at dinner, just kind of catching up and deciding what we were going to talk about. Kito, we missed you, my friend, but we're glad you're here today with us. So talk to me. It's an interesting year. We're all navigating it. Some people are up, some people are down, some people are even. What's your business like so far, and how are you navigating this year as we're going right now? Who wants to jump in and start us off? Kito's got it. I saw the hands. You're up.
So for me, business is looking really well year to date. And I think the biggest thing for me is that I'm coming around now on a lot of my home buyers that I bought in the beginning, right? And so being able to stay in touch with them and my sphere of influence, right? And then they're also getting to the point where they're referring business to me as well. So, getting that confidence and that trust within the people and letting them know. I had a client the other day, we just closed, and right before we closed, she said, well, you're gonna close this deal and I'm not gonna hear from you again. It happens all the time. I'm in the military, I bought several homes. I said, well, I don't know who your real estate agent was before, but yeah, we're family now. Yeah. So, and making that, important to them and letting them know how important they are to us, and it's not just transactional, and instilling that trust in them, and so it's been very, very helpful for me. I haven't really I haven't missed a month for any closings, and I just get a lot of love, a lot of support. Mia's helping me out a lot to keep everything in line, and so we're just streamlining and moving forward.
The success is in the relationship for sure. Kito, for people that don't know you, how long have you been a realtor and in the industry?
10 years.
10 years, and you run a team. What's the makeup of your team?
So the makeup of my team is Mia is the director of operations, our do-all, go-to-all. Tracy Robinson is the agent of ours, and then myself.
Nice.
So we did a little scaling. Sometimes less is more, and you have to do that. So
I love it.
For sure.
Scaling back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Monique, how's business going for you this year, and what are you tracking your success on?
Business is great, and I'm like Kito, I drilled down to past clients, and it's very hard for agents to ask for the business. We just assume that our clients will come back to us, but we actually drilled down this year and went back into my database, the data bank, and asked for the business. Right. Like, who do you know? And it was so surprising how many people came out and said, hey, my neighbor is thinking about selling, or my sister wants to move here. If we hadn't asked for that business, we wouldn't have had it.
I love that. And tell the audience, how long have you been a realtor, and what's the makeup of your organization?
I became a realtor the same month that I retired from the military in 2018.
Thank you for your service. What branch?
Thank you. Air Force.
Air Force, okay.
28 years in the Air Force. And what was the other question?
Well, just what's the makeup of your team right now?
Oh, our team is very small. I have myself, my transaction coordinator, Cindy McClure. People don't realize she doesn't even live here anymore. She went to take care of her family on the East Coast. My husband, my sister, and a friend of ours, a family friend.
Nice, nice.
Very small.
Heather?
How are you?
I'm well, yourself?
Good. Our year's been good. One thing we've really focused on is doubling down on our intentions. So it's not always about more action, but more intentional action. So like Monique mentioned, being really specific with your conversations and remembering to wrap them up with who do you know that we can help? Who do you know who I could benefit? So being really intentional with the conversation and the follow-up ask.
Ask
So,
for the business.
yes.
There we go. That'll wake you up. I don't know if y'all could hear that, but it was loud on our end.
Yeah.
What's the makeup of your team and how long have you been a realtor?
So I got into real estate in 2017, 1 month after moving to San Antonio from Augusta, Georgia.
We're going to come back to that in a second. That's good. Keep going.
Yes. So it is my business partner, Jana, and I, and we have my daughter as our assistant, and we have an amazing transaction coordinator who holds us all together.
Nice. Shout out to your daughter, Ava. We love Ava in the office. She
Yes.
is just an all-star. We love her.
She is, yes.
Scott, how's business for you and the team, and what are y'all tracking your success on?
We're blessed. Communication is key in this market because days on market are continuing to rise, and being able to communicate with those clients and the sellers, having a system for that follow-up Friday, let them know where the market's at, let them know how showings are going, and then making sure that we're doing price adjustments as days on market continue to go. So that's really one of the keys that we feel that have helped us on the listing side. And then on the buyer side, it's just taking advantage of the market opportunity that is here. Because San Antonio is at a discount right now, and being able to take advantage of that discount, go in, get closing costs paid for, get it from, if you look at a lot of neighborhoods, we're back in 2021 prices in some of them. So looking at that and saying, okay, how can I take advantage of this, get my closing costs paid for, get some points to be able to buy down the rate, there's opportunity in that. So just making sure we communicate that to our people.
I love that. For our audience, Scott, tell us how long you've been in the business. What's the makeup of your team?
This is my 10th year in the business. The way our team is built is building a team inside of a team. So once an agent reaches a certain production, then they've earned the right to bring team members underneath them, or they get a rev share of the agents underneath them. And then we have 4 virtual transaction coordinators. We have Victoria as our director of operations. We have a media team, and then we have our team leads inside of the team.
I love that. One of the things we were talking about the other night at dinner was that all of you guys are well versed in events and loving on your data bank and staying in touch with them and fostering those relationships. Scott, I'm gonna circle back to you real quick because I know you talk a lot about your micro events and your 51st dates. Walk the audience through that on what that means and what the success or what kind of success you see from those events.
Yeah, so 51st Dates is a micro event. So we do macro and micro. Micro 51st Dates is once a week for 50 weeks. You meet with somebody different. Yeah, we do 50 different conversations. So one of those will be coffee, one of those will be lunch, and one of those will be a VIP dinner. So at the end of the year, you should have had 150 different meetings with 150 different people. So coffee is somebody that you're looking to get in a relationship with, looking to build a relationship with. Lunch is somebody that you're currently in relationship with. It could be a client that's currently in a contract or a vendor that you're currently in business with. And then a VIP is somebody that you've done 2 deals or more with, or they referred 2 or more deals with. And when you're going to these meetings, it's especially the VIP ones, it's figuring out what's important to them, because it's just connecting it. There's a book called 5 Voices, and it talks about what voice you have. My voice is a connector, and my goal is to be able to figure out what their goal is and how can I help them accomplish that goal by the end of the year. So the conversations we're having now with clients is, what is the goal you have before the end of 2025? And how can I help you achieve that? And then just listening and understanding that, and then figuring out who you know in your world that you can connect them with, that be able to help them accomplish that.
I love that. How far out are you guys planning these events and preparing the team to not only plan them, but train around the conversations and then the follow-up?
So from an event standpoint, we have it pretty much planned out because it's a lot of it's repetitive. So a lot of the things we do is repetitive. We plan in October, so 10/1, we're already planning for next year. So by October 1st, we already have our next year planned out.
And October 1st is right around the corner. So if y'all didn't take note of that, this is the season where we start planting seeds for the harvest come spring. And so you guys are already in that masterminding phase of what does the calendar look like.
It's a disappearing fourth quarter. By fourth quarter, you should have already had everything, the seeds that you've already planted. It should already have been done. So it's a disappearing fourth quarter because everything else is going to be coming in 2026.
Yeah. Speaking of planning, I mean, Heather, you're one of the best people I know about really breaking down what is the future business plan.
Yeah.
So talk to me about how you guys plan your events. What are some of your key events you've had the most success with?
Yeah, almost all of our events are micro events, not micro on that scale, but 50 people is usually where we're at. And we have them frequently, almost monthly, we're having micro events. So the next one we have coming up is Spooky Strokes. So
Say that again, it's called what?
Spooky Strokes.
Spooky Strokes. Okay,
Yeah.
walk us through what Spooky Strokes is.
So Spooky Strokes is at the beginning of October. We have our past clients and our biggest cheerleaders here to the office, and we paint welcome mats, so Halloween welcome mats. And all of our events are a part of our business plan. So like Scott said, we do our business planning in early October. So by the end of early October, all of my events for next year are planned, but not just the events, the lead up to the events and the contacts surrounding the events, because the events are not where our success comes from. It's the communication that the event brings for us. It's just a vehicle for all of those touches.
I love that. I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I see Jeremy Coombs down here walking on his knees, and it just cracks me up. I'm like, Jeremy, you don't have to hide, brother. You're good. You're good. we love to see your beautiful face on camera. So, that's the fun of Heritage. It's controlled chaos all the time. And speaking of that, you're one of the agents, and Anthony White is the same way, Robert, several other people that really take advantage of our facilities here and hosting it. And so talk to us, because a lot of people think, oh, if I'm hosting an event, that means it's going to be a lot of cost.
Yeah.
So how do you go about the business planning of what's the budget going to be and what do we expect the payouts to be?
So we try to avoid as much overhead expense as we can by utilizing the amazing space that Heritage offers us, but we also partner with sponsors. So our sponsors are helping us bring desserts, bringing treats, bringing food, they're bringing drinks. So this event, Jana and I pay for the paint, and the mats are provided, the champagne is provided, the food is provided, and the cookies are provided by other sponsors of
So
ours.
how many people do you think you'll have at this event?
We're inviting 150, and we're hoping to have 50 to 75.
Okay, I love that. So 50 to 75 people. How much cost are you guys out?
Maybe $100 at most.
Maybe 100. That's incredible. And then what kind of success do you typically see each time you have one of these events?
So again, being more intentional, we started a new coaching program this year, and we're being way more intentional on asking at these events for referrals.
I love it.
So our last event, we actually left with 4 new referrals that are ready to go. So being more intentional with that, we're looking forward to a lot more success with immediate turnover. But we have a great connection with those people. It's not just the immediate referrals we get, but the relationship building and the community building that we're growing within our clients and our neighbors.
I mean, did y'all hear that? They walked away with 4 referrals from that one event, totaling about $100 in cost, not to mention the long-term relationship building you're doing in that event. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And in an emerging, shifting market where we talk a lot about the new rules that are rolling out between TCPA and the do not call list and the technology that's blocking that,
Yeah.
and we keep talking about you've got to have more opportunities to be in front of people and build those relationships, and that's a prime example of that right there.
Yeah, and with these events, we always invite our past clients, our database. We focus on who we're inviting because obviously we have more than 150 people in our database, but then we're also asking them to bring a person. So we're like, bring a friend, make sure they RSVP, because everybody has to RSVP. So we collect their contact information as well, but we're asking them all to bring a friend with. So
I love that.
Yeah.
Be one, bring one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. So, we've talked about, on the local level of events. Now, Monique, let's switch it up, because you are a master at really doing events within the conference world and building your relationships and your network through real estate conferences and others. So talk to us about the type of success you've had through those events and attending conferences.
So the conference world, We're fortunate to have a major conference here in San Antonio this past couple months ago. And Kito and I actually got together and held a big party. Monique helped us find the location and everything. So one thing I do want to say about Heritage is that there's a lot of collaboration.
Amen.
Not competition. We collaborate on things. We're not in competition, and I actually really love that. So we had a big party for the conference, and I want to say, I'll have to ask Mia, because she was the backbone of that also. What, 350?
Mia, yeah. We love it.
People, and it was agents from all over the U.S. that came in for the conference, but we also invited agents that were local, so they could meet other agents that were from all over. That was a big one, but one that I do for my company that my clients tend to love is I'll rent out the Palladium movie theater, and of course I have sponsors because that's a little expensive, but we'll watch and we'll call it a family movie night. We have one this winter coming in, and we just rent the theater and we get like little blankets for them because the theaters are cold. Everyone gets a gift card, and they love that. And they will actually call me, the next year, be like, "Hey, when is the next movie?"
Yeah.
And so that's a great touch point that they're touching me, and I love that. But it actually allows us to touch them, because even if they don't come, then I can touch them and say, "Why didn't you make it? Where were you? We looked for you."
Yeah.
So yeah.
She's following up either way. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that. So you've done a lot through conferences and attending
Yes.
those over the years. How much of your business do you think comes through referrals that you've developed the relationship at
I would
conferences?
say about 90%. So I go to conferences not only to learn, but actually to network. The network is after the classes, in the evening, who you're breaking bread with, who you're going out with, who you're just having like coffee with in the morning before class starts and things like that. So I actually really love conferences because I just like to travel and go meet family somewhere else and then network. And so over 90% of my business comes from referrals from conferences.
Wow. If y'all aren't taking note on that, over 90%. This is an agent here that's in the top 3 in the Business Journal for the entire market of San Antonio, and 90% of her business is coming through conferences. And we had this conversation a lot with agents in our own market center about, I guess industry-wide, when they go, oh, it's $800 to register for this conference, or it's $1,000 to go to that conference. But here you are saying it's a huge payoff for you.
Do y'all see that summer that just hit me?
Do we need to get a fan going? Yeah.
It does absolutely pay off, because I will leave with referrals before I leave, and I'll just send them over to my transaction coordinator and be like, you need to work this. I'm still at the conference. I'll catch up with them when I get back. Or like today, I had a call from somebody from Santa Rosa or something. We met at the conference. I was like, when? In February. Oh, we did? I have a referral for you. And sometimes I don't follow up with everybody because you get a lot of cards, but when people follow up with you, that's great.
Yeah.
It pays off.
I love
It really
that.
does.
In the KW ecosystem, our next big one is Family Reunion, which is coming up in February in Atlanta. So now is the time, while tickets are at early
Yes,
bird
yes,
pricing. We're going to
yes.
Hotlanta. We're going to have a good
Yes,
time.
yes.
But now is the time to invest in that. And it really is an investment in your business. So if you have never attended a conference, Heritage is a fun organization to go with to conference, because we'll typically have 60 to 80 agents out there at a conference. We do dinners, we do networking, and then of course we want you to expand your network while you're out there. Kito, you were at Mega Camp. Monique just hit on the event y'all did. I've been to your appreciation events as well with your clients. Talk to us about what events you're having the most success with.
So I can confirm with Monique, being in the same kind of affinity group within Heritage. That's one thing I do like about Keller Williams, that they have so many different affinity groups, so you're not just in one big mass. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm in San Antonio. Oh, you with Monique? I'm like, no, I'm with me. So, yeah, but, and they always want to say like, you guys working together? I'm like, yeah, like how are you doing that? Because we're not fishing in the same pond.
Yeah.
And it's, I'll call Scott and ask, hey Scott, what's this? And how you do this? And he'll tell me. And it's not a competition, or he's not like, oh man, I can't give you that info. He's like, come to the office, I'll give you the sheet so you can copy to put your own information on it and do the same thing. you're not going to find that anywhere else. And so this place is actually special because of the power brokers that we do have here and all the information they're willing to share.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I kind of typically do things a little bit, move to my own beat and my own drum. I have to be a little bit more organized, and so that's where Mia came in at. But what I'm doing now, I have a couple different things I do. One is called Ribs and Tips. So real estate investment and business tips. And so we actually do it at one of my previous clients own a barbecue joint. And so we give out free rib tips. For y'all that don't know, that's a Midwest thing, it's an up north thing, rib tips. So they give out free rib tips and they get basically a rib tip dinner. But we don't just push real estate down their throats, right? We also talk about investing. We talk about life insurance. We talk about credit repair. We give them tools to start their own business or whatever they may want to do, right? And then we also speak about real estate and we also speak about mortgages and things like that. But the Ribs and Tips is a coined phrase by me and it is trademarked. And so we use that a lot. And so we get 20, 25, 30 people to come there on occasion. And so we did get something close from there. Also, I've been in schools. So I'll do luncheons for teachers and things like that, and I've gotten a lot of business out of that. But our next big one that we're going is actually tomorrow. Hasta mañana. It's for San Antonio folks. It's for tomorrow. We're actually going to feed the entire Steel football team.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we're just going to cater in Olive Garden. I had a parent ask for gluten-free for one person, so we were ordering gluten-free.
Everybody else is
noodles.
carb loading for the game.
Everybody's carb loading, yeah. They want gluten-free, so we're going to feed the entire team. So what they do is they have parent nights on, or family nights on Thursdays. And so I was talking to one of the parents, and I sell a lot out in the Cibolo area. And so they were saying like, oh yeah, well my son's having parent night, and we was asking people to donate because they want some hot dogs and hamburgers. Like what? Y'all eating glizzies? So I just, we're gonna give them a pretty good dinner. We're gonna cater in some Olive Garden. So they're gonna eat they're gonna get all the pastas, the breadsticks, the salads and whatever it is they want. So we're gonna do that, and yes, we do have help from a builder actually. So we partner with a builder that was in Cibolo as well to help them get their name out. So
Give them a shout out. What builder is it?
Meritage actually.
Meritage.
Yeah.
We love Meritage.
So we're working with
Yes.
Meritage Homes on this one. I'm one of their Rockstar agents, their Platinum Rockstar agent.
Yeah, they got that Rockstar agent program.
So right now I'm working on my third listing with them.
Nice.
And so, I'm just trying to make sure we build those relationships and keep those relationships strong. So I'm excited about that. My daughter graduated from Steele High School. And so.
Scott, you went out to Clemens, right?
Oh, the
Yeah,
Clemens.
same district. Okay.
They just beat Clemens.
Rub it in.
Yeah. So, but they're the number one team in the San Antonio area. They go to the semis, finals, almost every year. People move here just so their kids can go there. So why not tap into that, right?
Great
and
schools,
so
great
that's
community.
very intentional for us to try to be there and be just known in the area. And I'm not going in with my hand out saying, give me referrals. I'm just going in so they can see what I look like. And if you see this shirt, and you see that logo on the sign, that's me. And that's what it is, because brand recognition is a big thing.
Yeah.
So.
I can't tell y'all how many people at Mega Camp I would walk up to because I saw y'all's labels on the shirt, and I'd go, oh, hey, and I'm like, oh, wait, never mind, I don't know them. But
So
I
we're
saw
saying
y'all's
that-
labels, so I just thought it was somebody on your team.
I was telling them, I was walking in the conference center in the Henry B, and I was walking and I looked and I was like, they had my logo. And I was like, oh shoot, that's our shirt.
Yeah.
So Monique and I gave away hundreds of shirts.
Those shirts were everywhere. I saw
Hundreds
them
of
all
shirts.
week, yeah. Okay, so you said you work a lot out in the Cibolo area, and then Scott, of course, I know you went to Clemens. You're from San Antonio.
Yeah.
But the other three, y'all aren't from San Antonio, right?
I'm not from San Antonio.
Not from San Antonio. So, Heather, you said you reload here, not knowing anybody. We fall on this, I'm going to say, excuse all the time when we talk to agents that reload to a new city, and they go, oh, well, I'm not from here. I don't know anybody, so therefore I've got it harder. So talk to me, as you three have come into a market where you didn't know people, how did you find your initial success in building your database?
Initially, I relied on the previous 4 years of military spouse experience I had, you have to build a community, otherwise you're going to go crazy. I was raising 3 kids while my husband was gone all the time.
Yeah.
So I created a moms group within the neighborhood we moved into, and then I relied on my marketing background and just hit social media as hard as I could. Creating that moms group, I focused it online on Facebook, and then I hit all the other Facebook groups I could. I created a German Shepherd Moms of San Antonio group because my German Shepherd is my favorite child.
If you don't know Heather, she is a big-time dog lover. You're at how many dogs now?
Let's not throw it out like that.
It's 5, I'll tell you.
It's 5 in case anyone was wondering.
Don't report her to the HOA, yeah.
I had to register my chickens as emotional support animals. But yeah, so I just really relied on what I had already known from my previous roles and really leaned in on social media and creating community.
I love that.
Yeah.
Monique, what's your answer to how you built a database in a city you didn't grow up in or from?
So the military transported us here, and so I had already known a lot of military people, and they come and go. They're like actually the best clients because you know in 3 years they're leaving. So it's good to keep track with them because they need an agent when they leave. So my niche is the military, and I really just stay connected to the military. But then I found other military agents out there, and they were going to different conferences, back to the conference. So I was like, oh, you're going to that conference? I'm going to go too. And so that's really how I got started, was wherever they were going, I was going to.
Yeah. There's that nugget again about conferences and their importance. I love that. Scott, how are you training agents that come onto your team and aren't from the market?
It's starting, so it's focused, it's called the ink blot method. So where
Ink
you
blot?
Ink blot.
Okay.
So you first focus on one subdivision, then you become the mayor of that subdivision, then you move to the subdivision next to it, then you continue to go until you get that zip code, and then you move to the next zip code over. So it's like a pen when it spreads. With that ink, it's the same thing. You focus small, then go big. So you focus on one street, one subdivision, next subdivision, zip code, next zip code. And go from there.
I love that. Simple, easy. And he referenced a term there about being the mayor of your market. If you're not watching or listening to the MREA podcast that Jason Abram puts on, there's an episode there. I think it's episode 85. It's all about becoming the mayor of your real estate market. It's a phenomenal episode, and it breaks down exactly what Scott's talking about right now. Okay, so let's switch gears a little bit. Heather, you've brought up social media. I know all of you are, I'm going to say, influencers within the industry and in your sphere. How are you guys handling your social media, and how active are you guys on social media? Kito, you want to kick it off?
Social media is a necessity, but it's not real life sometimes, right? And so a lot of people get misconstrued on what it really is and what it really isn't, right? Being that I wasn't a real estate agent, a lot of people, especially real estate agents coming up, they're like, well, I'm gonna make a new Instagram page, and well, why would you make a new one? People want to know that you're a human, right? They don't want to just get real estate 24/7 shoved down your throat. They want to actually see that you're the human element in you. They're going to look you up anyways.
Yeah.
So just continue with that human element. So with me, I do videos. I kind of tapped into a market for this little super keto real estate agent video where I fly around and help people out and beat up rates and things like that. It's just, different things you think about it. And if you can think about it, it could be a reality, right? And so, especially for editing purposes and things like that. So you want to stand out, right? Yeah. So me personally, I don't want to follow trends. I'm not going to do like the agent running around cussing and saying all kinds of crazy stuff. That's not my ideology. That's not who I am. So I'm not gonna change because he's getting a whole bunch of views. Because I got one of my clients called me off from TikTok, and they said, hey, listen, I'm in North Dakota. I seen your videos. We're moving to San Antonio, and we want to work with you. I said, okay, cool. And he said, we'll be there on Thursday. I said, okay. And then lo and behold, he called me like, hey, listen, we're boarding on our connecting flight and we'll be there at this time. I said, okay, well, I'll meet you guys, we'll go to dinner. And we did that, and they ended up buying a home that weekend for $600,000. Nice. And they said that they had a conversation with that guy, and they said that stuff doesn't fit their image of who they are. And you fit more of our image of who we are. You speak well, you carry yourself well, and you're not talking craziness. And so I want to make sure that I'm making my own brand in my own way and not following trends.
I love that, yeah. Yeah, you're being yourself.
Yeah.
Scott, what's your role on social in terms of the balance between who I am as a person and my presence as a realtor?
Well, it's the word relationship. And the word relationship in the beginning is the word relate. And how do you relate with your audience? So making sure they see you as a human, like Kito was saying, seeing you from a family dynamic. What do you eat? Where do you go? What's the restaurants you go to? What do you like to do as a person? And when they see that through social media, they see how they relate with you more than just on business. And then putting the business out there as well, so they know that you are credible and you are somebody that gets the things done.
Yeah. Monique, you have one of the best, I think, track records of engagement in the comments. Like, you post and there's a thread a mile long of people going back and forth, making jokes, having fun. How are you crafting those conversations to take place on your social?
I think it's because I can only be authentically me. I show that this real estate, number one, real estate is hard. But on social media, people make it appear like it's an easy business. I'll get in, clients will float to me, we'll close some houses, I'll become a millionaire.
Yeah, that's how it is on HGTV, right?
Yes, they show 3 houses, you pick one. So, but that's not life. And so I can just come out and be authentic and say, even in this real estate business, it's a personal side to me that I still have some issues in my life that I deal with. And I draw a lot of people to me, be like, oh my God, I didn't know that was you. Like that you had those issues also, and people will contact me. And so one thing that has happened since I just been authentically me, like I can't fake it and be like this super real estate agent all the time, is that I'm still a wife. I'm a damn good wife, right?
Barry's in the back, he's saying, that's right.
And a mother and a friend, and but what has happened is a lot of ladies has contacted me, and now we do monthly breakfasts or brunches because they do just want to talk about their issues. But I still want to know, well, who do you know? We have eaten, we have laughed, we had a good time, but who do you know that needs some help? And then we're talking about things outside of real estate, also like life insurance, because I don't know why people don't think they need life insurance. It's not a GoFundMe, but just real life issues. So I can only be authentic in the things I talk about. I know you can set it up on ChatGPT like a monthly thing of what to talk about on social media, but a lot of that stuff is not me. I just have to be who I am, and this is what I deal with, and let's work our way through it.
I love that. So it's about coming from contribution, but then you're still intentional about what the desired outcome is.
Yes.
Heather, you've been featured in different magazines and websites. How did you make that transition from just posting on your social media to then also becoming a resource that people reach out to for quotes and market insight?
Just being a connector. When you are coming from contribution and putting people together that you think could benefit from each other, it just comes back at you. Like I'm not doing this with the purpose of wanting to be your first thought when you want to promote someone or when you want to feature someone, but because you have been kind to me, I love to reciprocate, and it comes back.
I love that. I love that. You guys have all progressed over the years to form these really big businesses. Where did it all start to make sense for you? I think a lot of us have failed forward when we first got in the business. You've got the outliers, which are Scott, who sold like 80 some odd homes your first year. But a lot of us kind of fell forward into it until we found our success. What were those initial building blocks where you said, aha, this is where it makes sense and the plan is? Scott, you want to kick us off there?
So like Grant said, I was kind of forced to start the team because after that first year it was 85 individual agents. So second year is when we brought on Victoria as a director of operations. At that year the year before I had a full-time kind of transaction coordinator. I was paying per transaction, not full-time. So I was paying $450 a transaction. after I looked at that, it was a salary cost. So it just made more sense for me to bring on somebody full time. And then from there, it was bringing on buyer agents. So we brought on Jeb as a buyer specialist. Janet came from Colleen, and then Kelly. So that year we did 161 transactions, and then everyone was talking about expansion. So we took expansion systems operations. It's called ESO through KW, and they kept talking about expansion. This is how you move to Austin. This is how you would move your business to another city. And the more we were taking it, I was like, why do we have to expand and start another team in another market? Why don't we just start a team inside of a team and just do it in our market? And that's when we came up with that motto of building a team inside of a team, because a lot of times when people left teams, it was to start their own team. So we can just become the platform where they can be powered by Maloof International Group, still have our branding, have their own brand, like Janet has the pink team inside of Maloof International Group, powered by us, and we just have the resources where they can plug and play.
I love that. Monique, you're very intentional about your models and systems. I know when we text back and forth, you're always asking about specific things like KPAs and who's doing this step. Where did you start to build in those building blocks that really gave you leverage and systems to follow?
I've failed forward quite a few times, but I would say around year 3 when I was just like, I have to have systems in place because I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and I just had to implement systems, and that's what I'm saying. It just was around year 3 that it just started to click. But then I started to realize also people are not interested in those transactional agents. In the way it ended up dawning on me, because people would be like, oh yeah, that's my friend Monique, and I would be like, what was her name? I know we closed. I don't remember. And so I had to switch up from being transactional to more relationship, because people were seeing me as Cousin Mo.
Yeah.
Hey, that's my cousin Mo, and I'd be like, hey, what's up? But now it's more intentional. That is relationship versus transactional, and people really gravitate towards that.
Talk a little bit more about that, because when we talk about transactional versus relational, a lot of people think, oh, I have to be transactional in order to leverage and get more deals in the pipeline, but you're saying you went relation style and that increased your business.
It did.
Yeah.
It is. Sometimes we have, I have 2 boys, 30 and 25, and I love them, and I don't ever get to see them but once a month. I forced them to have a family dinner with them. But because now I'm more relational based, I will invite clients to our family dinner and let them know this is our monthly family dinner, and I just wanted to invite you guys to our family dinner.
I love that.
Yeah, they seem to love that.
Kito, you go really deep with a lot of your relationships on your referral partners. How have you built those over the years?
Just being authentically me,
Yeah.
and people, either you're gonna like it or you're not, right? And I know I've learned throughout these couple of years, I've been doing a lot of soul searching and deep diving of myself. And sometimes you gotta look inward to figure out how you're gonna look outward. I just woke up one morning and started on a sobriety journey, and yesterday was year 2.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Right on.
So
That's
2
awesome.
years, of no alcohol at all. So now I'm working on sugar. So I'm on 1 week. I'm on 1 week because I stopped drinking alcohol and I started drinking pop. Yes, I said pop.
Soda.
Coca-Cola to be exact, and that's the worst.
Yeah.
So, but you have to always reevaluate yourself, right? Because we're always looking outward and seeing what other people are doing, and we're judgy. We're in a real judgmental society right now. Especially, sometimes I get reading comments on social media on different things, and I get so upset. So why is your life so much better than the person that you're making fun of, right? And so I had to start looking inwardly to figure out how I'm projecting outwardly. And so with that being said, I'm a lot calmer, I'm a lot more relatable. And I understand that other people's plight could be worse than what I'm dealing with. And so therefore I can have a real world conversation, right?
So let's talk about that, because I think, in that same vein, people look at people that are higher in production, let's say top producers, and they think, oh, they got it made. They figured it out. They got the deals. They're making the money. They got sharp suits, all that kind of fun stuff. But the reality is a lot of, I think mental health is just a huge issue across the board, but especially I find in top producers when you're just draining your battery constantly.
Yeah.
Mental health is a real struggle. How do you prevent burnout? And, I don't want to speak out of turn, but I think everybody up here at some point has publicly acknowledged mental health issues within the market center to encourage others. So talk to us about that, Heather, on mental health, burnout. How do you prevent it? How do you keep your mental health strong so you can keep performing at a high level?
This year was rough for me personally. My best friend lost her husband very suddenly, and I took a lot of time to be with her. So accepting the fact that I am never going to balance my personal life and my business, but it's going to be ebbs and flows of energy, and being aware of where I'm at and taking temperature gauges and just relying on our community, letting my agents know, hey, I am out of town, reach out to me. If I don't respond right away, here's my partner Jana's phone number, she'll respond. And just really focusing on the important people in my life, because at the end of the day, I can be there for all of my clients, but that inner circle is what matters most, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. So
Amen.
just taking a moment and being there for the people I love and knowing that that's why I'm doing this.
I love it. Scott, you've been doing this 10 years at a high level. How do you handle it?
The power of moments is huge. So there's no such thing as bad day, there's just bad moments, and it's how you let a moment affect you on how your day's gonna go. So remembering, if it doesn't matter in 5 years, it shouldn't matter in 5 minutes. And a lot of times when bad things happen, people are like an iron that's been plugged in for a while. You unplug it and they stay hot. You gotta be more like the light switch and let go and keep it moving and just focus on what's important to you. And focus on, as long as you know you're doing things with the right intentions, things are gonna be good. We talked at the dinner, we talked about it in the market center, about a system we have called W137. And this helps prevent burnout. It also helps, when you're doing with situations, how to deal with them from a mental standpoint. So the W stands for once a week, you take time for wellness. The 1 stands for once a week, you just take completely off. For me, it's Sunday. The 3 stands for once a month, you take a 3-day weekend. And the 7 stands for once a quarter, you take a 7-day trip. This is a change of scenery. It helps you be able to get away and just prevents burnout. So, yeah.
I love that. Now, if we could only get everybody to follow that model, I mean, that alone right there, I think would be transformational for so many agents that experience burnout. Oh, that's right. We gave Monique a challenge. You were supposed to book a trip before we sat down today. I know what that look means. Well, so Monique, you've been very transparent with the Market Center on how we overcome that challenge and fight through the mental health slumps in our lives when we hit those. What is some of the strategies you've taken on to help with that?
Find a reason to get up. Get up and get dressed and get out, get to the office. A lot of times we could sit at home as agents. We don't have to come in, but we should really because once you walk through these doors at Heritage, it's like, and people at the desk,
It
like,
is
hey,
infectious.
Monique, it is. It's great. Come to the office, go to the bullpen, talk to the new agents, things like that. But I try to exercise. I haven't been doing great lately, but just to get out and get some exercise is great for your mental health. And then just talk about it. I have some great friends that I can talk about it with.
Fresh air and sunshine, it helps for sure.
Massages,
yes,
I give massages.
And good culture, yes, you hit it. Kito, what are some of the things you've tackled?
For me, I make sure I try to set my days up and as such. I go to the gym in the morning. I feel like when you work out in the morning time, you release those endorphins and you get moving. You feel better. So for me, if I don't work out in the morning, I feel sluggish. So you see me coming in kind of sluggish today. I didn't work out at all. So, but knowing I had to be fresh and spry for this amazing panel, so I don't look crazy, I had to make sure I had all information.
We're all a little bit crazy. It's okay. Yeah.
But also, again, taking time for myself. So I have started, taking little trips. I got that, I bought that Frontier Go Crazy pass.
Oh, yeah?
I know Frontier is not like the best airlines, but it's $2.99. You can fly anywhere you want for a year.
There you go.
For $2.99.
Never heard of this.
Yeah.
Use his referral code,
use your referral code, right? So, but you can book 1 day in advance, and then you can go, or internationally, it's 10 days in advance. And I'm like, I need that. So
there you go.
We as real estate professionals, our job is not as grueling as others physically, but it may be overly grueling mentally. Because when you enter in a transaction, let's say it's a husband and wife transaction. So you gotta deal with the husband, you gotta deal with the wife, You got to deal with the other real estate agent. You got to deal with the lender. You got to deal with the title company. You got to deal with the inspector. You know,
Got to deal with the appraiser.
appraiser. All of these people, that's on one. So if you got 10 transactions on the board,
It's a lot of
and you're dealing with 6 people per transaction, that is burnout.
Yeah, and that's a lot of work if everything goes smooth.
Yeah.
Which we know that's
There's no
not
such
always the
thing,
case.
right? So I had a transaction that just closed, and everything was running as smooth as possible. So 2 days before, and I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. And I thought it wasn't going to close, you know, and we ended up getting it closed. But the amount of brain width that I used for those 2 days to get this closed was enough for a week. And so we all deal with that, and we all have had those conversations. And so just like you said, getting up and walking through the doors, like you said, taking that time for yourself. The 3-day weekend is huge.
Yeah.
You can go to Houston for 3 days and just get away. You can go to Dallas and get away. Maybe
Monique,
not Houston.
nudge, yeah.
No, not Houston, Monique. But you know, there's different things that you can do to get yourself away to refresh. So you got to refresh yourselves and just kickstart your week. Last thing for me, what happened yesterday don't affect my today. You know, so I don't carry what happens yesterday into the next day, because if you do, you're just gonna have a negative mindset about what your day outlook is. And there's some people that need you. And I don't look at myself as just an agent. I feel like these people need me to help them get to that next level. So.
Yeah. You know, it's one thing we talk to, or I talk a lot about with new agents, of forming that skill to be able to almost disassociate at times, the same way a doctor does, you know, because a doctor has to go home at the end of the day and see their family after they've just delivered bad news sometimes. And we have to develop that same skill set sometimes of things don't always go right, but we can't absorb every stress and feeling that the client or the other agent or the lender takes on. And so being able to navigate it and help them through it, but then be able to move on to the next task or family life. Monique, you hit something that I just want to reiterate, which is talking about it. Because I think so often, especially high-performing agents, they want to hold it in, because agents, we like to be picture perfect. We like to make sure our hair's in place, we got the nice cars, everything like that. And so they don't always open up. And I love that both you and Scott, you know, y'all went on video a few months ago, and we had a huge reaction talking about mental health and the need there. So, you know, if you were in that state of mind and you need someone to talk to, reach out to someone in the industry, reach out to someone within the market center. I mean, agents, as competitive as it can be sometimes, it is truly a family environment, at least it is here at Heritage, and being able to lean on those people, because sometimes when you just express it, the load it takes off your shoulders right then is huge. And so, Heather, you had hit culture. I mean, talk to us real quick. I'm going to do a selfish plug here, but culture, the effect it has on when you're around good culture and how that relates not only to just your personal happiness, but your business life as well.
Coming into the office and just knowing that I'm going to be surrounded by a supportive community, a community that's willing to share not just the wins, but the struggles as well. And there's not going to be any judgment or resentment or shame in those conversations is so important. Yeah, and like you said, we're a family. So if one of us is struggling, we all are aware, and we're all seeing what we can do to chip in, to help out, to lighten the load a little bit, so you know you're not alone.
Yeah. Scott, you guys have got the culture of not only the office, but you've created internal culture within your team. Talk to us about culture and what it means to y'all's team and how it operates.
So as far as with KW, like what everyone's talking about here, there's a quote that I learned from church is we don't look down on somebody unless we're helping them up. And I feel like with KW, we live that each and every day. The values of KW are God, family, business, and we actually live that. So in our team, we have a culture inside of the culture. And what we built inside of there is when we looked at different businesses and we're looking at what we're looking to mimic, we looked at, you know, where things are thriving from a culture standpoint. And one of those are mega churches. And how mega churches thrive are through small groups. So inside of our team, we have small group chairs that are a part of each one of, there's different levers. So there's faith, there's philanthropy, there's events, there's education, there's wellness. And we have different chairs, there's 7 of them, that we have take care of these per quarter. So like for faith. We have a women's Bible study. We have a teen Bible study. We go to CBC together. We do different things with the community. So those are things we do on the faith side. And then from philanthropy, we do our Mother's Day event. We just did our backpack event. We did it for Mega Camp. We teamed up with KW Cares and KW Next Gen, and we gave back to both of those charities through money that was raised for those events. We have our turkey drive, so there's things we do from a philanthropy standpoint. And then for wellness, we do, we work out on Friday mornings together. It was called the Breakfast Club. We do cold plunges together. We do certain things where,
together.
Yeah. Well, there's Evolve. So Evolve let us rent it out where we go in, we're able to do a cold plunge, and we're able to do things like that. We do kickball. We create a kickball team together. So there's just different things we do that's just not just about business. It's about the community. It's about getting people out of other things where the environment ends up becoming a family. And with our team, especially even in the market center, this is the only family some people have. Like this is more blood than the blood that they have related to. So being able to be that person for people and being able to be that 2 a.m. phone call that they need to call. And that's, being the foxhole. So that's what we've created inside of our team. That's what KW's created inside of Heritage. And I appreciate being part of both of those. So.
Well, and on that, like I said, I'm going to do a shameless plug here, because a lot of times when we talk about growth within our market center and bringing agents into our family, a lot of the agents that are coming into it aren't running from bad sales. They're not running from, my year's going awful, I'm not making the money. What they're running from a lot of times is lack of culture, bad leadership, lack of support. And I think we have fostered and created something that's really special here. And so if you are in that mindset where you're going, man, either my business is in a slump, or even if my business is thriving, but I don't feel fulfilled when I walk through my office doors, reach out to us. My favorite part of my job is getting to expose our culture to agents that aren't familiar with it. Everybody needs a Mary in their life. Mary's back here. Wave, Mary. This is the quietest she's been all day, because she's used to hopping up and greeting people with her big smile and friendly attitude. And the amount of compliments we get from Mary to Dominique to Tina to Jeanette, our accounting team, it's really special. And so I can't expose it to enough people. And if you are thriving and needing culture, or if you're thirsty for culture and leadership and guidance and development, that's really what Heritage is about. And it's part of why we do this podcast, to expose that to people. We're going to wrap things up. You all have been phenomenal. I want to close it out with, what is a piece of advice right now to an agent listening who needs to increase their business right away? They need to find a way to service and help clients. What is something they can be doing right now to help with that? Kito, kick us off.
I think the biggest thing you have to do is realize how powerful this is, right? You can go out and shoot content. You don't need a videographer. You can go shoot content. You can edit it on your phone. You can post it. But also, I always ask people, how many contacts do you have in your phone? And they'll, 1,200, 1,300. Do everybody in your phone know you're an agent? Do a 10-second video, send it out to everybody, let them know what you are, what you do, and tell them that you can help them or someone they may know, and then ask for the referral and send it out.
I love that. Heather?
I think we touched on it a little bit already, but just lean into you. Lean into what you're good at and what you enjoy doing, and your success will naturally follow. So really double down on those things instead of chasing the shiny and the new all the time.
I love that. Scott?
When you look at the chair that I'm sitting on, and if you were to look at your business, and
this is why we all love Scott. I say he talks in quotes. Every time I have a conversation, I'm like, wow, that was powerful.
Gandhi or something.
Who sat me next to Scott? I hate this.
So looking at the chair, looking at your business, if you were to look at what you do from lead generation, if you only do one thing, your foundation is going to be off. And in your chair, if we were to sit on one leg, it's going to fall. So figure out what are the 4 things that you're going to do each and every week that's going to help your business grow for the end of 2025 as you move into 2026. One of it could be social media, one of it should be your database, one of it could be expires or open houses, and one of it could be events. So if you look at that, okay, what am I gonna do ending 2025 that's gonna help my business grow? What are the 4 things that if I do these, I have a strong foundation and then grow from it? In October, one thing I suggest is doing a pumpkin carving contest for your database, for your people. And moving into Thanksgiving, one thing that we do for our VIP people is we'll get a power washer, we'll pay for our top 20 people, and we'll get a power washer to clean those 20 people's driveways and houses as they have family and friends come over. Moving into Christmas, again with our VIPs, we'll look for our top 20 and we'll get my guy that cuts my yard, he also puts Christmas lights up during the end of the year. So we'll put Christmas lights up at our top 20 people. You can also do, with your database, do a gingerbread house contest. And you can get those kits for a pretty good price. Team up with a lender, team up with somebody that's gonna be able to grow with you on that. And just send it out to your people and push that through social media also. So make it interactive. So from a pumpkin carver contest to the gingerbread, that's something you can do to the end of the year that will help your business grow.
I love that. And speaking of Halloween, if you're one of our agents or if you're just an audience member that wants to participate, we are hosting our Halloween event here at the office, which is brought to us by our culture committee, which is through our ALC, our Agent Leadership Council, all of which these amazing people have served on and contributed to. And so that's going to happen October 24th. And so if you're an agent in the office who maintains a private office in the building, there's going to be trick-or-treating throughout the building. And so we want you to decorate and give out candy and invite your clients. As we talk about client events and finding ways to cover those costs, this is one of those events that the Market Center puts on and sponsors. All you've got to do is participate. And so look for the graphics on that and blast those out to your database and take advantage of that and invite people. Monique, what's your advice for the agent watching right now who needs to drum up some business?
That needs to drum up some business is to get back to the basics.
Back to the basics.
We all started with a basic thing. Don't be all over the place trying to do everything because you end up doing nothing. Drill down on that one or two things that you know that's going to work. Make some phone calls, just ask for the business. It's hard to just ask for the business, but just ask for the business. Yeah. They could just say yes or no.
Easy as that. It's not hard, you guys. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. The models and systems are out there. KW's got a whole book and education series around these ideas. Yeah. They sound simple, and they are simple, but you've got to implement them and you've got to have that plan of action. And if you're in a state of your business right now where you feel lost and you need that guidance and that roadmap, or like I said, you're needing the culture and the leadership, Heritage is here. We are an open door. We don't put borders around brokerages. Reach out to us. We would love to consult with you on your business and see what kind of an impact the company and the culture here can have on not only your business, but your life. We are thrilled that you guys took the time out of your busy schedules to sit here with us. Monique said it earlier, this office is all about collaboration over competition, and all four of you walk that walk. It's not just a talk. Kito has said it even at conferences. People are like, oh, y'all hang out together? Y'all, like, that's weird. Why do y'all hang out together if you're both top producers in the same market? And that's what's special about this place. And I appreciate you guys not only taking the time out of your schedules, but willing to share with each other and share with the agents in our market center and outside. So, y'all, this has been a great episode. I hope you found some value in it. And if you can just take one nugget out of this conversation and apply it to your business, I guarantee you it's going to have an impact. We look forward to seeing you next month. We're going to keep this panel style going. And so we look forward to having some more people from our top 10s next month, continuing on the conversation. If there's a certain topic you want to hear about, drop it in the comments. We'd love to look those over and see what we can do to provide more value in these conversations. Until then, make it a great day. Go out there, sell lots of real estate. We love you, and we'll see you next time.